I'm sure these MRI pictures are showing me something. He's looking a little under the weather. Pillaging must be one of their hobbies. There's room for every member of the Brady family on here except Alice, and I never considered her part of the family anyway. Maldonado was tracking down a woman named Margaret Leonard for Bauers. Surely, after all we've been through, you would not turn against me and turn to her. Looks like someone with the initial T was doubting Mason's allegiance. Seems Mason was treating someone with serious facial deterioration. This coffee table's a special design. It's got a hidden drawer. Nothing I can use. Man, that is so cool. Looking at medical posters always gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'm sure these MRI pictures are showing me something. Well, it's a microscope, and you'd need one of these just to see Rook's sense of humor. style work. Just looking at this gives me an icky feeling. This petri dish is encrusted with all sorts of gunk. I'll need to clean it off to see what's underneath here. Oh, I don't think a lot of studying went on in here with that flat-screen TV on the wall. There's just no accounting for good taste. Nope, nothing worthwhile on these shelves. Nope, nothing worthwhile on these shelves. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, if you know what I mean. Yep, that's a sink. Man, I don't even know what I was trying to do. Standard groceries, and none of them look very edible. Well, judging by all this fiber, the owner has digestive issues. Really? They found someone to eat this crap? Really? They found someone to eat this crap? Guess I better not be too creative, because it won't work. Tsunami! This house belongs in a tax bracket that I'm most unfamiliar with. Quite the mood lighting. This desk is so I don't have to solve crossword puzzles on the floor. That accomplished nothing.
As I made it perfectly clear, your status as a paying customer earns you a modicum of goodwill. I suggest you use it judiciously.
Sorry, you lost me at modicum. Look, answer a few questions for me and I won't kick your butt when I get my memory back.
That's the man you think was abducted? The one I saw being chased down the street? I never heard his name before you told me.
I think everybody's pretty happy that you're back to your old self. Except Rook. That ornery old cuss. No pleasing him, I guess. How are things going for you? Clint's done a real nice job, don't you think? Good to see the neighborhood getting fixed up. Yeah, nice to have some fresh blood here on Chandler Avenue. Not really the kind of place I do a lot of shopping at, but some folks seem to like it fine.
Hey, Mr. Murphy. We can hang out, or you can order something up and melt your face, but I can't give you that memory stick until you hook me up. Don't know.
Back in the Hays Code days, couples had to sleep in 2 separate sleeping bags. It's a key to a padlock. That accomplished nothing. I see they put Rusty's zip line back in place. How convenient. Oh, there's an eye-looking pooch behind this gate.
No way! A freeze gun? This is definitely your coolest case ever.
No pun intended.
With freeze guns, the puns are always intended. Are you familiar with the work of Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Please, have mercy.
I'm afraid my condition has left me cold to your pleas of mercy.
I'm gonna find a way to turn you off, I swear.
You're not sending me to the cooler. Cool party? Fine, I'm done.
Thank God.
Allow me.
Thank you, Deus Ex Machina. That leads to Rusty's roof.
You got it, didn't you? The Nitro Stalker freeze gun. So cool. My internet group is gonna be so jealous.
Fine. I'll tell you what. You say one word about this to anybody, and I'll deflate the tires of your wheelchair. I'm in enough trouble with the cops.
Fine, okay, I won't say anything. Threatened by Tex Murphy. This is so cool.
Merry Christmas.
Like Inspector Burns says, it all tastes the same when your tongue's charred.
We may only get one chance, Carlos, so I wanted to go over the plan one more time. If Margaret shows up at the Ritz, call me immediately. If I'm delayed, detain her. We have to assume she won't give up the egg voluntarily, but I want to talk to her first. You know why I've given you the cryo chamber, but that has to be the very last resort. And if anything happens to me, I'll need you to contact a friend of mine. Keep it safe until I retrieve it.
Well, it sounds like Mason and Margaret had a major disagreement. I need to locate both of them and get to the bottom of this. I decide to head back to my office to sort things out.
Hey, cowboy. Any memories coming back yet?
Not so far, but something tells me I might be missing out on some really good ones.
That's solid detective work.
So... were we dating?
Dating? Oh, that's so cute. I guess you can call it that. But we were also working together in a more professional capacity.
Well, now my detective skills are picking up a little sarcasm.
Seriously, cowboy, you're good. I've learned a lot working with you the past couple weeks.
Let me get this straight. You and I were working on a case together? Do you mind telling me about that?
Not at all. You wanted a list of tenants here at the Ritz as far back as I could go.
Why would I do that?
It was your dreams. They were vivid before, but they were getting out of control. It's almost like they were changing you into someone else. You talked about seeing things from the past, but you wouldn't give me details. You were incredibly stressed. It was like you actually believed this apartment was haunted. You even started looking into psychometry.
Psycho what?
Psychometry. It's the belief that an object can contain a person's energy or memories.
So, not only am I an amnesiac, but I'm a paranormal idiot. Great.
Sounds crazy, I know. But then we found out about Donnelly.
Who?
J.T. Donnelly. It was the most bizarre thing. I'd heard you mention the name in your sleep. But then, his name turned up when I checked out the previous tenants.
So who is this guy?
He's a private investigator, a real old school brute. He worked for some powerful, influential people, but then he disappeared around 1943. His last known address was here.
San Francisco.
No, here, at the Ritz in this exact apartment.
Okay, that's a little bizarre.
It gets bizarrier. You called me one night, raving like a lunatic, saying the walls were talking. I rushed over and found holes smashed in the wall, and you curled up on the floor in a ball.
Well, I'm glad to hear I haven't changed that much.
You wouldn't tell me what had happened. But after that, you wouldn't sleep here. That's when you got your new place and started to sleep there.
Hold on. I have another place?
Yes, you do. And it's even nicer than here.
This is all crazy. I think I'm gonna sleep here tonight just to see whether it affects me in the same way.
Do you want some company?
Listen, Taylor, I'm beginning to see what the other me saw in you. But in my head,
still 2043. I've got to tell you, there was somebody else.
Chelsea, I know. I know how much she meant to you, Tex. Losing her was traumatic as hell for you. But she's gone. And there's nothing you can say or do or don't do that's gonna bring her back. Do you feel that?
I sure do.
I'm alive. And that's my heart. It's yours if you want it. And it comes with all the other bits.
Well, I think it's time for the big sleepover. I'll make popcorn.
And I'll pitch the tent.
Six hours later, the rain was finally letting up. Somebody once said, you can't change the past, only the course you're on. And that's what I intend to do. It's time for me to take my ship in a new direction. Being with Taylor last night felt comfortable. She accepted me as I am. Maybe I ought to accept myself in the same way. Still, I know I'm in the middle of something sinister, and I've got to deal with it. I've got to find a way to get my recent memory back. Then I can go forward and start a new day. As Taylor was leaving, she slips me a key to a place called the Resort, and said it might provide some insights about myself over the last few years. She wasn't kidding. Maybe I should go get checked out at a medical clinic for reasons other than my head injury. These watches are worth a small fortune. Nitro case shattered? By Tex Murphy? When did I become an attention seeker? She's doing this to get through school. Brass knuckles. That's a big departure from my non-lethal weapons collection. Black leather gloves? Wait a second. I'm pen pals with Big Jim Slade? I don't think I like what I'm discovering about the last 7 years. Looks like I like to wear sunglasses at night. I'm hoping this newspaper article is not some sentimental keepsake. This petri dish is encrusted with all sorts of gunk. I'll need to clean it off to see what's underneath here. I'm hoping this isn't mine. When I think of women in my past who were black book quality, Regan Madsen from my Pandora case always comes to mind. Well, I suppose you've already sat in my chair and I've eaten my porridge, too.
Took you long. I thought I was gonna have to stir it in by myself. I hope you don't mind I made myself comfortable. And I'm very comfortable.
Yeah, you look it.
How long does it take you to smoke that cigarette?
Oh, you'd be surprised. She was vicious, mean, nasty, and rotten to the core. And I still think fondly of her almost every day. Some lady gave me her phone number? I'm not used to that. Well, it's a microscope, and you'd need one of these just to see Rook's sense of humor. Nothing I can use. My business card? How did Mason Bauers get this? Nothing I can use. Nothing I can use. I don't know if I get the open concept between these two bedrooms. Trust me, being a PI, it's not an easy business. You never know what you're going to find in people's drawers. Well, I see they like to keep things hot in the bedroom. It takes a man of exquisite taste to truly appreciate a pleather chair. Oh, sure, that seems impressive. But I bet you it wasn't nearly as difficult as obtaining my PI license from an entire summer of night school. Wrong form of its. Come on, people. This is just to trick people into thinking you read a lot. This is just to trick people into thinking you read a lot. This is just to trick people into thinking you read a lot. That was a waste of time. Classic. These baseball cards are great collectibles. There's just no accounting for good taste. No, that's not important. No, that's not important. Hey, bada bada bada. Yeah, just some books. The soothing, sultry siren song of a red cat. Staring at this picture is more exciting than watching a game of baseball. A collector's edition of Matt Cubase Tyler baseball card. I wouldn't dare thieve that. Isn't that DeForest Bunny from Night of the Lepus? Nothing I can use. Now that was a terrible year for wine. I think someone may have a drinking problem. Now that was a terrible year for wine. Yeah, just some books. Now that's my kind of book. A remembrance of a much simpler time. There's room for every member of the Brady family on here except Alice, and I never considered her part of the family anyway. Ceilings are good for keeping God's prying eyes out of your business.
You have a fax. You have a fax.
Looks like Archie's back in town. I should check out his 3 Cards to Midnight shop and see if he knows anything. Archie Ellis is my herbal tea-loving, source for all things alien, supernatural, conspiracy theorist. Or he's just plain crazy. He ran into some trouble with the NSA on my last case. Last I knew, he was hiding out in some tropical locale with a bevy of beauties. I'm surprised he's back in town.
How you doing? You okay? I heard you were having some kind of amnesia. You know, most alien abductees always have some sort of memory loss.
Whoever gave me this lump on my head wasn't some midget alien. No offense.
Hello, aliens? We all know they have long arms. Yowza!
You really back off, man, because I swear I will shoot the next person who tries to touch this, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. Ouch. Ooh. So, I guess you do need some catching up then. A few months ago, I moved back here from the islands and I opened up this place. And I was hoping that you and I could hang out together like old times, but you haven't been around much.
So I haven't come by with the traditional welcome back fruit basket? I have turned into a bastard.
Sounded like the same Murph to me, making jokes and putting your cigarette out in my herbal tea before I'm done with it.
Yeah, you're never gonna let me forget that one, are you? So we talked recently?
Not yet, but you know I'm always ready to be Robin to your Batman. Without the homoerotic undertones, of course.
Sorry, Arch, but it's a package deal. If you're gonna be in this with me, you're gonna have to be in all the way.
You had me going there, Murph.
Okay, Boy Wonder. I need you to enter 2 names into the Bat computer. Mason Bauers, Margaret Leonard.
Well, I don't know about Mason Bauers, but Margaret Leonard, she's connected to one of the greatest mysteries of all time. I mean, you know who Nikola Tesla was, right?
Nikola! The cough drop?
Nikola Tesla was a genius. Probably one of the greatest geniuses ever. I mean, it was Tesla, not Marconi, who was the true inventor of the radio. He invented a Tesla coil, the AC electricity, remote control. He even pioneered cryogenics.
So are we almost to the part about Margaret Leonard?
Right. Well, Tesla died in 1943 when the FBI just swooped in and confiscated all his papers and designs. Then in about 2012, all this stuff, the Tesla cache just disappeared. And you want to know who the #1 suspect was?
Margaret Leonard.
No, an FBI agent named Charles Johansson. Now, I know they could never prove that he did it, but then he quits the FBI and joins some Tesla fanatic group called the Tesla Legacy Society, a group dedicated to making the world better through technology. And that's where he meets
Margaret Leonard?
Bingo! They fall in love, they get married. I think they even had a kid together.
So where's Margaret now?
Not a clue. Johansson died a couple years later, cancer, I think. After that, Margaret just dropped out of circulation.
So all this happened, what, 37 years ago. I mean, no one's found the Tesla cache since then?
It's one of the great mysteries, the lost inventions of Nikola Tesla.
What's the big deal with the Tesla inventions? I mean, there must be some reason they were never made.
Oh, you ever hear of a little thing called Tunguska?
Have I ever? Picked up a bad case when I was down in Mexico. It's where I learned the phrase, Baños, rapidos, ándale muchachos, vámonos!
Oh, Murph, you're too funny. You know, in 1890s, Tesla conducted an experiment and created a resonance frequency. You know, like a big vibration, and it nearly took out a whole chunk of New York City. And then in the 1900s, he began to work on what he called a teleforce beam. The press called it, a death ray, cooler name. But a few years later in Russia, remote area called Tunguska, something caused an explosion 1,000 times greater than the atomic bomb.
1,000 times greater than the atomic bomb 40 years before we invented it?
But that was the last anyone ever heard of the death ray. Tesla never got funding. Instead, they made him out to be some crackpot, and he was broke for the rest of his life. Some people think the plans for it were part of the Tesla cache. Just think how much someone would pay to get their hands on that. Seems nice. I actually wouldn't mind forgetting a few years of my own life, mostly my teenage years. No, both aliens and ghosts can communicate through their dreams. It's a proven fact. Donnelly's kind of a mysterious character. He was a private detective Tesla may have hired not long before he died. There's a mention of it in one of Tesla's letters. The Tesla cache is right up there for me. Oh, and the death ray? Well, the name says it all, doesn't it? He died like 40 years ago and either left the Tesla cache with Margaret Leonard or somebody else, or he took it to the grave. I've been checking my sources, but no one's heard a thing about her in years. Gosh, you'd think a sidekick would be a little more helpful, huh? And I'll never forget what you did tipping me off before that whack job NSA guy could get me. You know me, Murph. Always up for an adventure, as long as I don't have to go anywhere. You like my shop? Kind of like my old one, the Cosmic Connection. But I had to change the name in case, you know, the NSA and all that. I eat at the Brew and Stew all the time. Yeah, oh, that's the Hollow Babe at the Golden Gate. Yeah, Mojo is warm for her form, or lack thereof, as it were. He's not very friendly, is he? My little buddy Mojo works over there. We hang out a lot, but I can't stay there too long. Something makes my eyeballs burn. Don't know about that.
As I leave, Archie hands me an old photograph of Margaret Leonard. Maybe someone else on Chandler will recognize her from the picture.